Hey everyone, this is Jens Anso and welcome to my shop. Maybe you already saw the hammer episode where I talked for probably 30 minutes about my passion for hammers.
Hammer,
Specific hammer.
good hammer. Hammers have a very special place in my heart.
This is a little different, but more of the same hammers. This is the first tool I bought from my own money, a DSI 3 ball peen hammer. And I love this hammer. And because of this hammer, I have grown really fond of this now extinct tool company. I had this idea that restoring a hammer is both a way for me to show respect for the hand tool, and it would be a way for me to dwell into a creative process that was not driven by an eventual sale in the end. Because of that, I created Anso Hammerworks, which is just a fancy way of talking about me restoring hammers. I put a phrase to it that's always given, never sold. So what I do is I restore a hammer, and now and again I will give away a hammer to usually a maker that I respect. This is a project that is purely driven by my love for the hand tool and my respect for the hand tool, and for a way to resurrect some of these wonderful tools into people's workshops again and be able to create a tool that will be loved again for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Right here is a bunch of hammers that I just got from a Facebook sale. I think I bought something like 40 or 50 hammers.
I have a great passion for hammers.
Now I want to find one where the handle is in good enough shape that I can restore that handle, and one that needs to be refitted with a new handle. So this one, I think we can save the handle on this one. This one, I think, is dead on arrival. The next process is to remove the handles and do a little wire brush cleaning of the heads. I won't do that in this shop. This is kind of the clean area, so we'll go to the rough shop for that. So I actually changed my mind on picking this one because I just realized that the handle is a little crooked. So this one will require a complete new handle in my opinion. So I picked a basically identical hammer where the handle is pretty dinged up, but it seems structural strong anyway. So now I removed the handle and the handle stump and take a wire wheel to the heads of the hammers. So what I do now is I just grind the bane and the ends here just to make it smooth and nice, so you don't mark whatever you're working with whatever this hammer worked with before. And that is the only grinding that I'm doing on these. Every now and again I will restore a hammer that has been abused for a long time and it requires a little more work. These actually look in decent condition, so I'm just gonna do a little careful grinding to put these up to speed. I just found this hammer that I forged myself together with my friend at the Landvirke Forge. And the handle that I made for this hammer is one that I want to trace for this head. This is just a really nice shape that I enjoy. The moment that I start working on the handle, I will pretty much freeform it, but it's nice just to have some kind of guidance. Going to bandsaw this out, and then we will move on to a disc grinder. This is one of the most horrible noises ever. The handle that I'm going to restore and reshape it a little bit, and the one from scratch are going on the disc grinder here with a fresh 60 grit piece of paper on it. It doesn't really care if it removes the wood or fingers, so Let's see if I can keep all 10 ditches intact. This one I'll just reshape a little bit, test with the fit with the head, and then reshape the handle. The same with this one, I will slowly fit the end to fit the handle, and after that I will shape the rest of the handle. That order, by fitting the head first, is so that I can adjust for any small crooked fittings. There's plenty of wood here to work from. So I will get grinding, and as you got your gear on, I will put my gear on. This one is pretty much done now, except for some hand sanding and a wedge. That will come later. Now it's shaping this new handle here. So now we are starting to be able to fit the head, and I'm using some of the rust marks from the head to actually mark where I need to grind off material. So this is a little tedious process. It takes a little while, but slow and easy does it, and eventually the head will fit on very snugly. So the head is going on a little crooked, so I'm going to remove a little more material here to make it more straight. The head of the hammer has now been fitted, so now I'm going to rough out the general shape here. I'm going to test it with the head every now and again, just to see if the size of the handle matches the size of the head. But we are getting close now. The handle is pretty much shaped. I want to go in here with one of the wheels where the disc grinder is not quite delicate enough, and just clean it up a little bit. And then most what's left is just a little rough hand sanding. And the handle is done and ready for putting on the head. So at this point where I fitted everything on the grinders, I just want to go over the handle with an 80 grit sandpaper, and that might sound really rough, and it is, but it gives a very secure grip. As long as it's a uniform finish, 80 grit on wood is actually really beautiful. One down, one to go. So I'm using a micarta wedge and outdoor water-resistant wood glue to set the wedge in the handle. I shaped the wedge so it will fit inside the hammer head and fill out the gap. And the objective is to make the handle flare out and make it wider on the top so the head stays on. I'm setting the head to a certain depth, but not all the way where it's supposed to go, because now once I go and hammer in the wedge, the head will seat itself a little more. So it's almost there, but not quite. A little bit of glue on each side. This actually also helps the wedge go in. The glue has now dried for the wedges. And next step is to cut them clean on the bandsaw. So this was the handle that we restored, and I'm actually now seeing that there's a crack in the handle. So
No!
I simply didn't catch this crack here. Oh yeah, there we go. This is not good. This one is all over. Yeah, no good. We'll finish this one instead. The next I want to do is just grind it nice and even. And then there's a little hand sanding as the last step on the handle. And then we put on the Anso mark here that shows that I made the handle. This particular knife is made by a very famous knife maker called Kai Embretsen. This is so traditional Scandinavian as you can. I use this for wood carving every now and again, so it has become a thing for me to finish the hammers with this knife. So I'm just gonna carve the sharp edges off this area here. I'm always striving for a homogeneous finish of whatever I'm doing. It could be a super rough finish. In this case, I'm doing a hand sanding, and the objective is to remove every past trace of the previous grinding marks from the disc grinder or the belt grinder. So if I'm doing a hand sanded finish, I'm removing every trace of the last step. That philosophy I'm using in everything that I make. This is going to be a great hammer. I'm gonna keep this for myself. Or maybe I will give it away, who knows. So now the last step is a coat of Danish oil, and it's good. I hope this episode inspired you to go out, find an old tool, give it some love. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. If you go ahead and restore some tools yourself, I would love to see some pictures. Besides that, remember to follow me on Instagram at Anso of Denmark. Take care.